Amazing. Amazing. So, wait. Now? No? Yes? No? Yes? Yes? No? No? Yes? Yes? No? What's up with this? Dual transmission. Retry. Finish? Oh, wow, 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 wow. Okay, I didn't allow myself to see that. Why? Oh my god. No. No. You wanna know why? Because for some random reason, YouTube said you're gonna get logged out of every single account that you have. Fuck you, man. Thank you so much. Give me. So, I need to open first and foremost my. What a wonderful platform. Why does it do that constantly also? I already have a quote unquote answer. Oh yeah, it is because it tends to kick you out of your session because your browser seems to not want to keep itself logged when you clear the cookies. Wonderful. I didn't change any cookie whatsoever. We need this. It goes this. No. This. What? This goes here. This goes here. That no. That doesn't go there. That goes there. Next. It was wrong. Amazing. I love when it asks you to fill a random captcha and it is impossible to understand what it says. Whatever, man. Do you want to keep your account always logged in? No, man, I don't want to. Let me log in. Am I logged in? Okay, I am. Now, can I watch if is the stream even working? That's all that I transmit live. Live streaming, yes, indeed. Okay, we're live. Amazing. That's all that I wanted to know. Was it that hard? Anyway, the question is, what's the URL? What? I have a URL here. Okay, it works. So, give me a second. Now I need to copy that same URL. I have it here. Yeah? Copy. Indeed. I can close this. Delete. Yeah. What? Here. I go here. I paste. The chat is disabled. Thank you. I didn't mean to do that. Here. We add this. Okay, we have two. Wonderful. Wonderful. And it also has the API of me being the streamer? Amazing! This is revolutionary, brother. You have no clue how much this means. Anyway, the point is, I found a way to have multi-chat on phone. I should try to say something. Yeah. Can I even say something? Let me see. Test. Does it appear anywhere? Okay, yeah, it does. Amazing. What a wonderful platform, man. You have... This is exactly what I was looking for. Yeah? Yeah. Kinda. I wasn't really looking for something that doesn't let me see both of them at the same time. Doesn't matter anyway. The point is we have it. We have it working. So how much more time do we have? 2 minutes. 6. It took me a whooping 6 minutes to make it work. Question is now, announcements. This goes here and plus this here. Share. Feature. Share. It doesn't matter. True. It did work. Okay. So now we are indeed fine. supposedly. Something else? Nothing else, I guess. I hope so. Right? Do you have anything else? I don't think so. Anyway. Point is gaming. We have gaming today. I wanted to do gaming basically. Not more like I don't really have anything else in mind. I guess so much stuff makes it hard to actually when you have, let's say it like this, let's structure the thing in this way. When you have the possibility of choosing whichever thing you want, the action of choosing in itself becomes more of a burden than anything else. So, in the end, it is somewhat complicated to actually choose anything. So yeah, that's my excuse. Thank you very much. I choose a chill game, which we will see how much we can play before I might mentally give up today. I personally I didn't even want to stream this late in terms of I didn't want to come here so late, but happens. Point is, yeah, I didn't mute the bot. Fuck, I should take an extra second, wait. Stream elements. Give me 1 second. Yeah, here. Dashboard. My sponsorships. No, I don't care about that. Give me a second. Chatbot. Modules, timers, counters, timers. Get up, tab. Shut up, brother. Thank you. Interval online. Every 10 minutes. You are crazy if you think I'm going to use that. Goodbye. Beautiful bot. Have a nice day. So, now I need to set up the game. I have game capture here, and it should be this. Is it? What's up? Are you capturing the game? No, right? Why not? What's up? There we go. It is, to some degree it is. Transform. Reset transform. Okay, it fits. Now, desktop audio. Yeah. Something else? I feel like I am still forgetting something. I guess. Yeah. Let me also test here. Test. Where does it appear? It's a very bad place, in all honesty, but it works to some degree. So we have that. Good morning, and also audio. Like, wow, no. Oh, that is way too loud. Like this, probably. I cannot. I cannot alt tab and check that. Amazing. I cannot alt tab. Amazing. Like this. Give me a second. Yeah, I just want to. If I lose focus, it stops making noise. Amazing. Beautiful game design. Wow. My favorite. Game design. Why does it have black borders around it? Anyway, we are gonna play full screen, I guess. I don't like those random borders. Whatever, man. Whatever. Not like I wanted anything good. So, this game, basic vampire survivors kind of game, I guess. Point is, yeah, what's up? It has been not really a long time. It has been actually a very short amount, taking into consideration that, yeah, we have been here 2 days ago. Yeah. Basically 2 days ago. It's the same thing, basically. So only 2 days ago, and I don't know. It hasn't. Did anything of actual importance happen? I don't think so. It's nice to see that the world keeps turning, yet nothing of actual impact happens, at least so far. Also, wait, I can move? Okay. I don't have to move with the mouse. Let me get this thing out of the screen. It has been so far very good. Weak, I guess, but yeah, not much of essence, of substance, so to speak. So no new event this year so far. No thing has dropped. No, nothing. I don't know. Is it? I haven't wasting slash wasting a lot of time trying to learn more things as always, but also lost on the whole. Is it a debate? What does it qualify as? The whole conversation that has been created around the existence of these things. Oh yeah, it's is it time to finally get quote unquote political? I don't know, man. I have yet such a hard time actually understanding it. The whole thing of yeah, these things that finally became publicly available, quote unquote, which have been to some degree just made somewhat available now, as of recently, that thing, and I feel like it's not really something interesting in terms of oh wow, what an interesting thing to know about, but rather something useful to know about. But it's in essence so weird to not see it discussed in general. I feel like it stopped being a relevant thing the moment it actually came to be. Like it sometimes, let's say like this, sometimes it feels like when any kind of thing exists more on a hypothetical sense, it possesses more value because you can sort of inflate the image of the thing in your mind and give it many more attributes and much more of a higher degree of significance, so to speak, compared to what the thing in itself in reality ends up having. So when things of quote-unquote substance come out in the real world, even if they truly somewhat qualify as things of importance, the reality is not just by them being real, that makes them much less impactful. Already, it's like it doesn't really lead to to many things. I have one other example in mind, one more visual example, let's say, or one actual example. There was this guy who found one of the many answers for a particular type of cancer. One cure, one treatment. Not exactly on humans, but something that something that works on the rats, I think it is, right now. And the point is trying to test that on other animals. And while in theory it should be something that everyone gets interested about, the reality that it finally came to be made it lose much of its importance somehow, and now we are looking at it as if it truly didn't matter at all. Not because it doesn't really matter once again, but rather because the thing in itself, once it becomes real, it's sort of, how do you even try to describe it? It's like, because this thing is now true, I don't have that much of a necessity to care about it myself. If, once again, continuing with the cancer example, no? If the cure for this type of cancer, pancreatic cancer, has been found, why should I, as a civilian, care? My responsibility ended at the moment in which that came to be. At the best, I can try to care if it didn't really exist, but in this case, because it already does, or particularly in this case, it doesn't truly in itself fully exist, it hypothetically could pass to be a thing if it were to truly be that it actually works in some sense, which we don't yet know, but by the mere possibility of it having the chance of being true, that already made it more valuable than if it didn't at all exist. Not valuable, more tangible, that if it never actually existed. So by that quality alone, it instantaneously gains a different kind of importance in the way in which we deal with that, and now no one else cares about it. Even even if it does exist, or even if it in itself isn't a finished product, so to speak, it already does belong in the realm of the achievable things, which for us doesn't really need it to be something absolutely true. So by that point already, we sort of, is the word allow ourselves? I don't think that's a good way to put it, or also wait. I'm trying to go here? No. Here? No. Here? No. Here. Okay. Sorry. I was saying, yeah. That basically the point is, things of this nature that could exist, that gets to exist and whatnot, that once they are something, they seem to lose so much of their importance, are not only, I guess, baffling in terms of how, yeah, it happens, but also it's quite sad, you know? It's quite sad in the end. It should be something that more people also, wait, you know? It should be something that more people gave a fuck about, but somehow it's not the case, and we're all fine with that. Not that we can really in any way create an uprising and make people care. If it is bound to not be an important topic, no matter how much you personally feel like it should belong to the realm of the public discourse, there is almost no way to make it enter as such a thing, not because it truly never will, but simply because the action of trying to make it make it come real, so to speak, would take much more energy as well as resources than simply doing something else. In terms of, I don't know, I already have my specializations on any other area of life, of my own life, you know? Why should I try to waste so much of it in trying to pursue awareness for this other topic? I guess it can even be actually a weird idea. Maybe it's just an easy answer, an easy excuse to say, yeah, you know what, I don't care about this. I don't really want to do anything about this, so I can therefore rationalize myself as the person who doesn't need to do anything. It might be something that will not truly work, because there are other people who are actually capacitated to make it happen, and if they cannot make it happen, why should I bother trying it, you know? Same notion. Yes, many others of that same sort, I guess. But the point is, I started by saying, having read that thing that came out, that nobody seems to care about right now, at some point I was expecting more people to care, more societally, more consequences, I guess. And yeah, nothing seems to be happening right now. And I don't know how to think out that. I guess, in a way, you could even say it has been a process. To see it exist and be what it is right now has absolutely been something. I wasn't expecting that, actually. I don't know, sometimes it's hard to grow up like that. Anyway, it's hard to grow up, not because growing up in itself is impossible, but rather because the act of growing up requires way too many realizations that are difficult to truly have. I can't so easily say, yeah, you know what, so obviously everyone else has given up on this world to this degree, unavoidably, so it was so clear from the beginning that every single person that I met throughout my journey has already lost 50% of their initial spark, that thing that moved them since the day that they were born, you know? It's simple enough to be stated, but it's not something actually easy to accept. And it's not just that there is a layer of the notion, it's more like, yeah, there is this basic degree of the awareness, then there there are these other deeper layers of the same realization of, actually, it also means these other things. It also entails these many other consequences. It also comes with all these other parts of life. And it carries all of this other stuff with it. And in the end, it has a much wider significance than what the first analysis can reveal, basically. And that is so much the case that, yeah, in the end, wow. Amazingly enough, I have no clue, man. I wanted to believe that it was going to be something more meaningful, but sadly it isn't. But in the end, the real point is, at the very least, things are moving. I sort of, yeah, I started that whole analysis with the postulation of, it seems to be the case that not many things are actually happening, and at the same time some things are in some way going on in certain manners. The universe is acting, so to speak. The issue is, I guess, actually being capable of seeing it, admiring all of the things that happen. I mean, in the humblest way possible, the mere act of being capable of being alive today is something to be thankful for. Yeah, wow, so amazing. But don't we also have the right to wish for more? Isn't it also useful to be capable of desiring a little bit more than just, yeah, you know what? Today I woke up, amazing, my life is fulfilled. I need nothing else. Why? Because I woke up. That's it, brother. I have everything that I needed. No, I do think it's actually useful to be capable of saying, yeah, some other things also happened. And it's nice that the things can happen. It's not good that things could happen. It's nice that things can actually happen. And in that very same sense, it's sad to see that some things that could lead to consequences don't end up doing so. Because, I don't know, things cost a lot of effort, I guess, yeah. But in itself, efforts invested in such consequences aren't in the end cool? Isn't it nice? In a more understandable statement, isn't it nice to have something that can make my life more enjoyable, that can give me some deeper layers of freedom, that can allow me to feel more satisfactions from the things that I do, whatever it is, things that we easily can constitute as nice without the later judgment of, yeah, all of these other things that have to come so that it truly falls under the realm of something nice and whatnot. No, point is, it seems to be truly absent. The desire for things to be, the interest in those events, I guess, those outcomes, those actual successes, so to speak, we have somehow become ourselves quite habituated, I guess is the word, with the lack of nothing going on. The whole meme, what is nowadays the meme of, yeah, nothing ever happens, being actually internalized in a way in which we truly believe that it is fine for nothing to go on whatsoever. And I don't know, man, am I crazy for saying that it actually is kinda sad to see things in that way? Shouldn't we try to have more things happening? Shouldn't we try to get out of that? It's crazy to say that. I don't know, man. Point being, yeah, anyways, that, things happening, and despite all of that, in a more positive light, I guess, life is quite entertaining. Capable of existing, at the very least, is a good point to settle with. At least the eternal consolation of, yeah, at least things aren't even worse, so that much is good somehow. That much gets to feel good, because we are not suffering simple enough, and that's somehow something to be happy about. Not having the bare minimum has truly become the standard for the satisfaction of us human beings somehow, and that's, I guess, nice to be capable of appreciating. But I wouldn't say, wow, yeah, what a wonderful thing that we are not suffering in general. It's the eternal discussion to some point. It's kinda sad that we are still incapable of properly stating, yeah, nobody should be suffering in this day and age. How come we have not yet been capable of, oh wow, astounding idea, eradicating suffering? Is it that crazy? How do we have so many advancements in so many fields and we are still yet today in this very same stage of, yeah. The best thing that I can do is focus on myself. The best thing that I can afford to do is that. Everything else might as well lead to nothing, not because I do not want to do anything for others, but simply because it's impossible to achieve anything in that sense. And yes, at this stage, it sort of traces back on what I stated. Maybe it also has something to do with the whole aspect of, yeah, you know what, this universe is not really that incapable of being in any way changed. We are just very willing to settle down with an answer that might seem somewhat correct. Also, I have so many choices. I'm incredibly overwhelmed. This is... am I winning? Yeah, I am. So far I am winning. I think so. No, I am not winning. I will win once I get through this whole left top left corner. Yeah. Once that timer finishes, I will win. Until then, I am barely surviving, and I might not really win accordingly. I am just making it look like I am doing well enough. But no, anyways, welcome, Sin. I hope you're doing very well, man. It has been a long time, and that's a question that I don't know if it can be answered, but yeah, I hope we get to see you soon. That much I can say. I will say. But yeah, anyway, I was saying, I don't know what was it? Yeah, something along the lines of, surprisingly enough, there is this answer of, you know what happens in this world? We don't really have that many things to do on one hand, but on the other hand, that very same answer can very much be given as an easy answer to the desire to not truly create change in any meaningful manner. Therefore, to go for that solution is to simply avoid the possibility of achieving anything important, because it in itself, any effort requires far more. Is it meta effort? How do you properly categorize it? How actuating in the world, doing something, is far more difficult than what it actually looks like. Even if the idea of doing something seems easy enough, the action of doing something in itself is far more difficult. Being a person, being a functional human being, even more nowadays with the standards of this world and the requirements to... give me a fucking second, I am getting mentally destroyed by all the noise. Thank you. Thank you so much. I was saying that, yeah, even more so nowadays, it kinda feels like, in a way, unavoidably it is the reality that, yeah, doing something that matters is far more hard to achieve. Not because there are not things that matter not capable of being performed, but rather because the action of doing something takes way too much time, way too much of everything else that up to this point, I guess, we haven't really learned to gain the whole... It's still yet another excuse, no? the whole aspect of we come to this world and we are supposedly we are given many tools, but we are not yet, or despite all of the tools that we are given, we are not really given the tool in itself of how to actually be a functional human being and how to actually achieve the dreams that we set out for ourselves, how to be someone who does something meaningful in the end, yeah? And because that is so much the case, and that thing happens just almost in the life of everyone, it's the whole, you are expected to just figure it out by yourself. You want to really find an answer out there that gives you an understandable, comprehensible, applicable manual on how to create an impact without needing to figure it out yourself. It's the whole logical process of how to be someone that matters, so to speak. Not someone that matters, you can matter for the wrong reasons. How to be somebody that contributes, so to speak. It seems to not be at all clear. So, when you try to do that, you find out that this is by default already impossible, and at that point already, it's so much easier to say, you know what, I will not even try. I don't have any reason to actually sacrifice my own existence so much. The whole eternal it's the wrong term, but it works for what I'm trying to say. The eternal return to the concept of I don't really have to sacrifice myself for something that I might as well not attain. Why do that? Instead, I will just go for the easier solution of today I can be happy, today I can play something chill, today I can watch something, today I can just rest, today I can just keep on doing these other menial things. And that's, in the end, that gets to feel better in the present, which as always is the only thing that we get to experience. You cannot really experience what is the future or what is the upcoming possibilities or whatever else. You can only be what you are right now, and to try to grasp the essence of what might be a change in any other manner is not just demanding, but yeah, realistically speaking, something I am dead. Something way too hard to do, and yeah, it's not really an answer. The reality is, yeah, it just feels like unavoidably you have enough things to not justify trying to solve the puzzle, so to speak, but it doesn't really make it any less problematic to not try to solve it, you know? We still have those things that could happen, that don't happen, that therefore feel bad. Also, I can deactivate these things. Why don't I deactivate everything that I am not using instead of having it existing and hindering my pool of items? Yeah, whatever. Let me continue. What a wonderful win. No, wait. Before continuing, let me actually highlight. Today we are going to win. That's my goal. That's my goal. Today I tried to play this game before and I didn't get even one fucking win. I hate this game incredibly hard. But yeah, anyways, also no, wait, let me, quick question, not question, let me actually check, is this thing, oh yes, what's up, we did drop some frames, amazing, I knew it, I absolutely knew it, no, I was just being paranoid, and I was right, it serves to be paranoid, that's the conclusion, no, anyway. Continuing. What's it? No. Did I really reach any conclusion? Not really. Do I want to reach a conclusion with that thought? I don't think I am ready enough to be capable of saying anything of substantial enough to be capable of expressing it meaningfully. So we shall simply move on. Act like that's it. And live with the knowledge that one day that question will be answered, not today. Not because maybe yeah, in the end I don't know. Something wonderful, I guess. At the same time, changing topic. Something wonderful that you get to realize is, in many instances, it actually doesn't have anything to do with the mental capacities in themselves that you possess or not. It's far more about, yeah, some questions you just have to keep trying to understand. What you find out described as that moment of insight that in so many instances gets described and utilized as the easy answer for, yeah, I simply realized how things work, is the complicated manner or the unintelligible way of saying, yeah, things simply get to become answered. You pose a question and it gets to be answered as long as you keep on trying to answer it. The insight doesn't happen unless you are actively looking for it, but it gets to happen no matter what you do if you make sure that you're actively working on that. That's the whole basis of that. And yeah, it seems to not be all that present actually. When you talk with people, you don't really find anyone saying, yeah, I have understood that I can get the answers to the questions that I have simply because I kept asking. I mean, probably in a very paradoxical way, you try to think about it from the perspective of I didn't know about that myself. How the fuck do I expect to simply understand to get that, yeah, I can understand things simply because I keep trying to understand them. Don't I need to do other things to be capable of reaching that level of understanding in itself? Aren't there more necessary steps along the way? But I don't know, man. Life is still mysterious enough that I take damage from my own skill. I wasn't schizophrenic. I knew it. I hate this skill. Anyway, I was saying that yeah, life is surprising enough, and it's good actually that it is surprising in that way, but at the same time, yeah. Sadly enough, also because it is surprising like that, it ends up being far more than what you can actually anticipate in some instances. So it's nice to always be in the processing, trying to go through things, seeing things, thinking of things, I guess. All of that stuff, basically. But yeah, point being, I haven't been making any points so far. You know, today, we can say that life is good. But based on what? It's something still way too complicated. I have tried to understand it myself. I don't think I have reached any acceptable enough answer, not because no answer in itself can be good, but rather because the action of pronouncing something worth of possessing the character of an answer is always dangerous. It is. You can internally you can externally say, yeah, but there can be multiple answers to the same question. Can they really? You never stop realizing that you are lying to yourself whenever you say that. I can coexist with all of these things that might not really make myself whole. I can always live with that emptiness inside of me. I think not only I can't, but also whenever I try to make it look like I can, I end up hurting myself even more. Isn't that the case? And the point is, yeah, that I don't know. I feel like unavoidably, no matter how much one tries to understand some things, it's possible to have a good life even right now, but it is far more of a matter of can I actually be capable of having that thing which makes my personal life good. I think it's quite difficult. Many things have arranged themselves so that nowadays we have way too much of a hard time trying to find happiness as the whole satisfaction of being and whatnot by existing with others. So an easier answer then becomes the act of simply being there around oneself and the handful of things that we say we like. But I guess, yeah, the eternal, the yeah, it's somewhat good. The eternally present, no, the eternally absent thing is the understanding that while I can have my handful of personal things, I can also try to work on everything else. Like, I don't need to live only on my own bubble to be happy, or I can be happy whilst having my bubble, also understanding that there are those other things out there that might, whilst there are potentially dangerous things on our world, there are also those other useful and interesting to explore things, so I shall not block off everything that comes from the outside, not because the outside is not dangerous. I can already know that. I do already know that. I have already experienced that myself, but because in itself I can really, I have the capacity to see that, yeah, it is still possible to go for other things that might not hinder me as much as I am capable of thinking that they will. And by doing so, therefore, I can conclude that, yeah, it was actually meaningful to do all of that. And I didn't need to simply stay in that layer of, I have my personal satisfaction, I am done. I guess, yeah, the whole aspect of, as an individual, I can think about myself, but I can also later on develop the realization. My own satisfaction on existence is also based on what the rest of the world experiences. I don't have the necessity to work on the satisfaction of others, but in the end, even if I am being a selfish human being, by the act of admitting that I want to have a good time myself, I can realize that unavoidably, by making others also have an equally good time as much as mine, or by at least trying to work on the possibility of anyone having a good time in itself, I can ensure that the collective experience that we end up having later on is meaningful. And I don't know, the whole theory, is it a theory? The whole lack of answer of, yeah, is there truly something else after I die? I don't really know. Can I say that there is nothing? I also can't. So why not try to make sure at the very least that I work for that possibly existing thing later on? And even more so, the whole, despite how much of a pessimistic society we have become, we haven't really abandoned the traditions of, yeah, you know what, you should try to have a family and you should try to have those other things. What's the conversation goes along the lines of, despite it needing to occur much later in life, it doesn't mean that it cannot happen at all. It just means that we are capable of having that exist. But we need to work harder on them, simply put. And yeah, you're going to tell me that it is bad, that we need to work on things that we want. It's that really the realization that we're gonna have right now. That's everything that we're gonna say. That's the point. Now is that a point to make about anything actually? Isn't that something that was clear enough years ago, decades ago? Also, wait, why do I have so many tabs? What do... It changes elements? What? It changed its elements? Sorry, what? I wasn't no. No, wait. It did change its elements. Wow. Whatever. Sorry. I wasn't focused by the sudden weapon change. I didn't even know that was possible in this game. I wasn't expecting that myself. I was saying. But yeah, in the end, it's possible to just have things that work in our favor and have those things exist And in the whole process of being selfish, I can also try to work towards those other goals that allow myself to feel satisfied with the rest of the world and try to do something that leads to a quote-unquote benefit for the world. Issue, sorry, I at some point I want to just trust the process, I guess. That's not me coping at all. At some point it's going to happen. Let's wait. It is to some degree, I guess, upsetting, but it's not really that much. It's just, I guess, the expectation of one day I'm going to win. The problem is not understanding that it won't be today, I guess, or not catch the next run. The incapacity to understand that even if the game presents you with the possibility of winning, it doesn't mean that it is a guaranteed thing, so you shouldn't be already taking it for granted that you're going to win. Sometimes you simply can't win, and it's but it doesn't mean that you can't make things go according to your plan unavoidably, but at the same time it also is about sometimes realizing that even if you want things to go the way in which you personally want them to go, you can't really change what is happening right now. You already lost, so what's the point? Anyway, going back to what I was saying, that I don't know, man. I think it's way too crazy to think about the whole aspect of I can be myself while also thinking about others, while also trying to be that thing which coexists with the rest of nature, and I can say it. Personally, it doesn't even mean that I fully understand it to begin with. And second, not what I understand is understood by everyone. I wish that was the case. It would be something so wonderful. Imagine having the possibility of understanding whichever thing you want and everyone else also getting to do so. Wouldn't life be so fantastic if that were to happen? Wouldn't we as human beings have such a more wonderful experience one day? We have to believe in the possibility of mental data transferring that would allow one day to finally enable all of those things. So probably that will be the day in which human beings finally peak as a species, something like a high consciousness, you know. That would be amazing. Oh yeah, but I will lose my singularity. I don't give a single fuck, man. You know how much wonderful it is to not have to worry about other people understanding you or not? How beautiful it is to know that things will be understandable just because they are, so to speak. One singular unit gets to understand them, but that unit also represents the whole, so that's it. Nothing else to worry about. Everyone else also gets to understand it. But no, you're not here to fantasize. Point is that doesn't happen. It's that it doesn't happen. I wish it did happen, but no, it doesn't. So, but life is very much about finding that balance of I get to be selfish, but I also realize that I have to sort of, to some degree. Is it dangerous? I wouldn't say so much. I guess the older values are just in that place because so many other traditions have upheld them. The whole. Let me take some steps back. There is a concept that is always interesting. I remember having read it in a meme, basically. The whole, you can give a kid a knife and you can let it run with it while knowing that it is dangerous, but also you can take it off from its hand, and the danger of the knife that is being held by the kid stops existing entirely, which is fantastic. But you cannot really rob a kid out of concepts like a social construct and the incapacity of them actually applying it in the proper context. Same thing with the older societal values that came from other universes, from older societies, which we have so far carried, still remain. But at the same time, they still also just keep on existing because we carry that same tradition, as in the word that I just utilized, social construct. Why does that matter? Does it truly mean that they don't have any value whatsoever? It's more of a, it's something that will, I guess, require a deeper analysis onto the matter, and the issue is actually trying to do that in a, oh, that was a thunder, trying to do that in any meaningful manner without losing from our side the reality that, yeah, they could at any given point in time stop being valuable. And I don't know, I don't want to say that things that I used to appreciate are no more valuable to me. Oh wow, excuse me for wanting to remain human, but yeah, from wanting to remain attached to society, I want to be somebody who tomorrow comes here and says, you know what, fuck the world, let's end it. I can very much, to some degree, understand the more nihilistic views. It's quite easy, actually, to some degree, to be capable of finding enough pseudo-arguments for those kind of views that allow you to make it look like it is actually a good response to say, ah, yeah, this world is so corrupted, this world is so horrible, it doesn't deserve to be anymore. We have to destroy it, burn everything down so that we can rebuild from the ground up and make everything else a new and new order and whatever. No, point being, yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like in the end, what I was trying to go with when I began that particular discussion, that yeah, despite the intrinsic isolation that every single human being experiences by default, by the mere act of existing in the current world settings that we possess, so to speak, there are still so many other social values that uphold the necessity of us working towards those more socially oriented goals, that it will be quite wrong to say, ah, yeah, you know what, we have nothing that actually makes us remain here today in any meaningful way. We are for sure going to be headed to a completely self-isolated view of this universe or whatever. No, it's, well, in the end, yeah, it can be somewhat self-isolated and self-centered. It doesn't make it be fully self-centered, and just because of that it's good enough, right? And it's something to be grateful for, I guess, yeah. And it's, I guess, the hope of, I hope I don't lose it, man. I hope we don't lose it. I don't know, you can get very paranoid with all of that. You can insert the doubts of what many, I guess, culturally relevant discourses right now. Wait, how did I start it? You can get paranoid by hearing many of the bells that at present culturally relevant voices, bells, however you want to call them, are saying about, yeah, and you know what, we are kinda ensured to find our demise in things like AI, because in the end, imagine that we finally find a solution for, in the present, we have an issue with social connection, therefore the faster solution will, for us, be something along the lines of AI, which is something that we're also, at the very same time, developing, along with many other self-centered technologies. So that the person will not anymore need to be connected to the rest of the world in any meaningful manner. Perhaps, if that were to actually happen, come true, we will find ourselves not just satisfied, but guaranteed to not have any more the need to be socially active creatures. And if that were to be the case, then it will finally happen that, yeah, we as human beings will have ensured our destruction, or yeah, or entire demise as a species. But I don't know, that's hypothetical thinking. I like to think out hypotheticals. It doesn't really mean that they are going to happen. I guess, what's the justification for that? It's something along the lines of, in many ways, it's also somewhat gratifying to think out the end of things, to think out the whole negative route which things might take. Not because you truly wish for things to go badly, always, but also because it's, in the end, it's somewhat beneficial for you to be capable of grasping the possible negative outcomes, just for the sake of ensuring that they don't truly become true. Otherwise, if they had come true and you didn't even expect it to happen, how much of a great human being would you have been if you had the position of impeding them, but just because you chose to not play with mere thoughts, you ended up almost ensuring the destruction of everything that we had up to that point in time, you know? So, point is, I don't know, hypotheticals are good. I would say so to some degree. I wouldn't really call them all that necessary. Anyways, I had some coffee. Perhaps you can notice at this point in time, I don't even know how much we have been live yet, but I know that I have almost non-stop been talking, so yeah. Drugs are wonderful. You should try them, more so because they are legal, more so because unavoidably we are accustomed to them being legal like that, so for sure they bring no harm to your body. No, no, don't actually try anything of that sort. I am so amazed by the normalization of those harmful things. I am baffled by the degree of consumption of those substances in the daily life of anyone, actually. I would have actually expected far less of that in a world in which being an adult seems to be so much a necessity, and in which, once again, the values are always that we as human beings get to be responsible enough and whatnot. Isn't it kind of crazy to see that, yeah, when you try to be an adult, you also have all of these allowed completely negative things to have exist in your life, and to allow and to include in your routine almost. And so you are gonna be good because you have all of those completely detrimental things. Not because we have actually found ways to mitigate the negative impact of the things in themselves, but rather because everyone else is also being impeded by those same debuffs, so to speak. So it's fine for you to also have them. It's what would be a good parallel. It's not that throwing yourself off from the bridge is not bad. It's not going to literally kill you. But if everyone else is also doing the same, why not just go along with them? In the end, if everyone else is also going to die, why not just follow behind, brother? And such ways of seeing the world, I don't know, they're way too bizarre. Once again, the expectation was to live in a more coherent world, not to be so surrounded by people that like to say that, yeah, you know what, I am a sane human being. I'm pretty sure I'm not surrounded by many sane people, man. But I know you're saying that you're saying, I'm not saying that. I'm just stating the fact that, yeah, I was expecting something else, man. Perhaps I lived under the assumption that this world made far more sense than what I have come to realize now. There's also, there are so many points. I should actually lock in for a little bit, because we're almost close to winning our first seed of the night. And also, we're just on difficulty number 2. We still have so many other difficulties to go. It's gonna be a long night. How many can we win? That's the important question. How many can we actually succeed in? That's the real thing to worry about. I tremble in fear by the mere idea of not being able of winning more than 1 or 2. We're gonna be here 2 hours, 3 hours, and in the end, I'm going to retire and have only one. It's going to be amazing. But we can make it. You should try to keep trying. And you have to sometimes be capable of finding out the way and accepting that things need to change so that you can succeed instead of putting so many blockers in your own way. Because in the end, we are capable of actually realizing many of the things that are needed to. I am so dead, brother. I live in constant fear of everything that might happen. I tremble just by the idea of losing. It's fine. At less than 1 minute to win. I'm amazing. I'm a beautiful king. That was me clip farming, thank you. It's not that I'm bad. No. Not to lose it, man. What should I even get? I don't even know. I knew some degree of what needed to happen, but the rest is absolute guesswork. This thing is slow towards the race, probably, since they are literally what I am using already. Yeah. Kills me to lose everything. Destroys my mind. But no, anyways. Let me look a little bit more actually. Okay. Let me go back. You wanna know something? Go back to what I was saying about the harmful things and whatnot. Particularly continue with the other phase. No, wait. There is actually a storm going on. Did we lose frames? No, we didn't lose any frame whatsoever. You have no clue how amazing that is. Wow. Amazing. Beautiful even. Yeah. I was saying that yeah, I continue with the rant, or starting from 0 basically. That yeah, it's a world. It is sort of normalized to consume things. And I don't know, part of the temptation is, well, something along the lines of, yeah, it's gonna be easy. Or not, perhaps it's not easy, perhaps it's just possible for you to balance it out. Not because nobody else has ever done so before, but rather because it's, in itself, it's actually quite interesting to play with fire, you know? And it's kinda difficult to not want to do that. Even more, I guess something related to growing up also has to do with that. The whole aspect of, yeah, I have come to become a more full, not build a more shaped human being, and I have come to be a more formal existence in itself, so to speak. I am more of a thing myself. I am myself to begin with anything. So why should I not try to do something risky at once? And instead of, I guess, you can see it from that perspective. It's kind of dangerous, but instead of trying to do something that could be beneficial from any other viewpoint, I will instead just choose the easy answer of, I will just satisfy myself with this thing that in itself already does feel good enough. If it doesn't harm me, I am going to be incredibly happy. If it does harm me, I am going to lose my mind. Because it shouldn't have harmed me, but I am still going to keep trying to make it work, because while it is harming me, it is still, on one hand, it is damaging, but on the other one, it is still beneficial, you know? Or it's not beneficial, it feels fine. It makes me feel good already, and in many instances, I cannot really, as a human being myself, I cannot really differentiate between what feels good and what is truly good, so to speak. So how can I expect myself to be capable of realizing that I might need to give up on those things that just merely feel good but are not in themselves good in any other way? And because of that, yeah, point was, drugs are quite hard to actually give up on, you know? And as I said before, the whole temptation of, yeah, you know what? I don't want to do that. I don't want to simply say goodbye. I will keep on trying. One day it might work, and even if I lose my life in the process, I am feeling good. So I don't really know if they are all that harmful or not. But I don't know. Something along the lines of, there also comes the point of a realization of, maybe I am losing way too many things that I didn't want to lose at all in the process of trying to make this thing finally work. And maybe I just need to give up on that, implying that it never happens. So for this other realization of, for some people, that can at all never happen. And it's possible for that in itself to be the case. It's sad that it is, but it can happen, and it's just part of life. I guess being a little bit more, oh no, cynical, cool, how I expected it. Yeah, it can happen. Sometimes you can just lose your life while trying to do something that you believe will be good in the end. But in the end, in itself, so to speak, trying to pursue a dream isn't also part of that same quote-unquote harmful way of acting? Aren't you telling to yourself that you're going to find something that satisfies you, something that finally is beneficial to you, and something that finally makes it all worth your efforts? When you set up a goal that you say, I am going to work for, and I am going to try to make it come true and whatnot, and you never know if it is in the end going to pay off. You just keep on believing that it might do so, and if it does, you're gonna be satisfied. If it doesn't, you might as well not get at all even to see it not be beneficial. So how would you at all know it wasn't good? How would you at all be capable of saying that beautiful quality of the human being of not being capable of seeing the future, nor doing anything related to the future, or from the future anything that is related to the past? Sorry, you cannot tell to your past self, yeah, you know what, you shouldn't try this thing. You should be doing something else. You should be going for a different thing. You should be actually doing something that will work. Or not, it's not something that will work. This thing that you're doing right now won't work. Do something else. And it's quite difficult to be capable of having that happen. It's way too much sacrifice already. Not only you're sacrificing what you already tried before, but you have to sacrifice what might be the possibility of a future at all by choosing to believe that what you are giving up is going in itself to be somehow beneficial to you. But yeah, point being, I don't know. It's hard to change. As a human being, it's hard to change, and it's at the same time somehow understandable when you see things land in that place of yeah, I am stuck in these things that I might not really want to have. Not because I'm fully addicted, so to speak, but simply because it's just hard to say no sometimes. And I don't know. What is that before? It's easy to say that things should change, but in reality, change is quite difficult to stumble upon. So, it doesn't matter. Also, I'm starting to lose my mind with my dogs and the storm. I don't know, man. I am going bonkers, as they will say. But aren't we all bonkers, Indian? Aren't we all simulating to not be bonkers? Because accepting that you are bonkers is bonkers already. And only those who are called bonkers by others are the ones who we accept as bonkers. And when you declare yourself as bonkers, you are just a very ridicule, fake human being. So, what's the point in the end? We will only be bonkers when we are. But we want to be the ones who realize that we are, because everyone else will be dictating that for us, and we will remain satisfied with the belief that we have not succumbed yet to the bonkerness of this world, or something like that. I got like 3 dodges in a row. Amazing. You have no clue how amazing that is, actually. Also, I got to upgrade like 5 things in a row too. Why? Great question. I cannot answer. Yeah, I can. Because I got lucky. Because I got incredibly lucky. I love luck. My favorite mechanic in video games. Nothing better than to simulate something that you can manually increase somehow. What a beautiful world. Imagine having... Why is... I have yet to understand that. I think I have been trying to wrap my head around the concept actually of video games. I think in some way we have... not only tried, we have been slowly capturing the essence of, yeah, as human beings, we do possess different capacities, and by positively, actively trying to become better at things, we get to upgrade our performance in them. The whole video game system is just a weird reflection of the human nature, because in the end it takes it to an absurd extreme, which gets to even be called unrealistic, not because it truly is unrealistic, but rather because way too many things that exist inside of it are impossible to actually directly explain in the real world, so to speak. Can you level up and you gain experience and you gain points to put on things? No, as a human being you don't do that. You just keep practicing until one day you are good enough at something, and from that point onwards you have become a human being who is marginally better at the thing that you have been practicing, polishing yourself in for so long, but nothing else. All the other things might as well have almost no impact in your existence, so to speak. Also, wait. Which one? Warhammer? I have no clue. Give me this, yes. I have no clue. But no, yeah, I was saying. It's kind of difficult to actually understand to begin with anything, it's way too impossible to explain some metaphors, and also it's quite impossible to believe that everything is a metaphor. Basic statement. The entire world might as well be a metaphor of things. It's a world full of other hidden meanings. Can you actually understand that? I can say it, but to understand it is way too crazy. Can you actually figure that things work in that way? I feel like I can make it look like I understand it, but do I actually understand that? I don't think I myself can fully grasp something of that sort. Also, I see it now. I saw it for one split second. I have a ball following me around, and that thing is sort of killing every single enemy. It's good, actually. It's amazing. But no, it also is out to fucking kill me. Because it's grouping up everything way too much for me. I cannot handle it, I'm about to fly. It's doomed. Now it's so... No. We have 3 minutes yet. No, this run is over. It was a good run, but I lost. Why? Because I got a broken ability that I'm not ready to utilize it. No, wait. This is the answer. It wasn't the answer. Oh no. I was doomed indeed. It was not yet my time to win. When will it be my time to win? When will the world let me have it for myself? When will I be capable of being happy? When will I get all the things that I wish for and harness all those pieces of this universe that I never got to? When will I finally claim the happiness that has been robbed from me? When will my soul be freed? No, yeah, one thing. I think I haven't been saying already anything for the past 5 minutes. I said before, I am losing them. The dogs, thank you very much. And excuse my dogs. You have to do the process of it's accepting that they also have a hard time. The storm, loud noises scare animals, and unavoidably they have an incredibly hard time because of that, so you must also suffer because of them. Why? Because you're choosing to listen to me, who also to some degree. That's because they suffer. Amazing. Anyways. We are almost done. I just want to finish this run. I am going to kill myself at this rate. But... No, I'm not. I'm going to actually. Watch this. Bam. Anything good? I don't know if I want this actually. Should I try to... I feel like it is actually bad to try to use this so much. Let's see what happens, I guess. If we die, we die. If we don't die, so much better to not die, you know? To not be killed. Also, yeah, thank God I chose to decrease the loudness of this video, man. How the hell... No, not how. Why does it work like that? That everything... Noises compound with one another to make even louder noises. I hate that about sound design. And I am pretty sure it's something quote unquote, not really, but supposedly basic enough to be easily fixable with some basic changes. In most codes, I hate when developers don't do it, because then when there are situations like this, where I am getting absolutely ear blasted. Not as much, but I could very much be still. No, I am. Whenever I have to pick up way too many coins, I still am. I love it. You can just love it. We have 16 seconds, 15 seconds. 10 seconds. Okay, this is over. This is over. My torment is over. We finally won one. Please let me win, man. Okay, okay, okay. Animation, animation, animation. Wait. What? Why did I have to push? I can't do anything. What's that button? There is a button to add more time. And you know what? It's impossible to know which one, because this game has no text whatsoever. Amazing. Anyways, what a beautiful game. Cannot get angry with it. So, get a little bit more damage, and that's all. Like 6, not even 6 points of damage. Probably like 1 point of damage or something like that. Probably, no, I think like 2. How much? Let me see. How much actually? Got the weapon here, 50. What's 3? Amazing. Amazing. This run. So, where are we going now? I guess here? Ah, no. Also, no, wait. I want to get this upgrade. I know I should be getting it. I forget to actually grab it. What does it do? 80%, 20%. Did it actually increase my thunder damage? I think it didn't. Oh, what I think it did increase a lot my missile damage or my cannon, and thing that shoots doesn't have any name, man. You get what I'm saying. Point being, anyways. Yeah. First run is 1. We have like 4 difficulties left to go, so I don't think we're going to do all of them tonight. Even less if my dogs keep making me lose it. You know what? I didn't. Give me a second. I didn't drink any water whatsoever. I should have done that. True, thank you, sorry. I realized, not when it was too late, but yeah, a little bit late. One of the, I don't know, man. It's the same horrors as always, but it's so weird to see how little stuff of that very same kind gets talked about. Oh yeah, did you know that drinking water in itself makes you feel good? I didn't, man. I say that I do, but then I have one day in which I actually hydrate myself properly and I feel good. I feel like a fucking functional human being. And I don't feel like I am about to die because I didn't drink anything whatsoever. And somehow that's crazy to think about. Somehow that's unrealistic to say almost. But I don't know, the point is, part of this world is full of those very same secrets that you, I guess, I don't know, something along the lines of many lessons that we are given throughout our existence are present, are in some way given to us, but most of the work also. Wait, did I just cancel the other thing that I got? Didn't this have basic damage right now? Am I losing my mind? What? Whatever. Whatever, man. Whatever you say. I was saying. I was saying. But yeah, many things in this world are about, or not many. Part of this existence is about having, I guess, the capacity. I don't know exactly. I hate. Okay, let me start with this. I hate the discourse of, oh yeah, everything's about humility. You have to be a very humble human being. What the fuck are you talking about? I can be entirely not humble and still get the same garbage that you do. You're going to throw flowers at yourself to decorate your own existence with the idea, with the notion of, yeah, you know what, I am such a fucking humble person. I am so, or no, I'm not going to say it, but you can, if you analyze my actions, I am such a humble being, I deserve everything that I have. No, man, and you already know that. Point being, that yeah, something along the lines of perhaps you just need to be capable of understanding things in some way, so that you can in most instances, grasp the notion that yeah, many of the things that you encounter don't actually have entirely their whole essence demonstrated to you in the very first encounter, so to speak. You are not going to get things just because you are told about them, let's say. As in, many explanations that we receive in this world don't really play an incredibly impactful role in our existence in itself, not because they are not impactful. Also, wait. Why does the void keep changing attributes? What? What's going on with the void, brother? What's up with that? Anyways, why did it do that? Wow, an incredibly stressful part of the video game. Something that makes no sense whatsoever. What there? What there? Am I going to grab another one of these? I don't think so. I don't think so. Actually. Can I change its attribute or something? Oh, yeah. What a video game. I don't know. Something else the cryptiveness of things. Making it obtuse to understand doesn't actually make it good. I can finally say it. Can finally be capable of utilizing that word. Point being that yeah. Continue. The rant was about things that you find out in life, things that you uncover, their reality that you encounter and whatnot. Yeah, most of it, I guess, falls under that category of, sadly enough, you actually won't get everything from this world. From the very encounter of those things, you actually have to do a lot of work to get the meaningful point that does exist. Like, the example itself wrapped back into, yeah, drinking water is important. You have no clue how important things are actually. You have no... as in, you hear about that the first time, you have no clue. You can think that you have gotten a clear enough answer and that's it. You can give up at that point, or you can instead develop an interest of your own, develop that willfulness that characterizes human beings, and find out how much of an statement, of an important statement that actually is. And I realize that, yeah, actually this is a necessary consumption for any human being because of all of these reasons. This is something that you should actually be partaking in because of these other parts of the human existence and whatnot. And all of these other things also make it be such a necessary aspect of life. And if you actually make sure that it exists, you're going to find a lot of benefits. Or, once again, you can stay blissfully ignorant, I guess. The whole aspect of you don't need to believe that you need to know all this stuff. Therefore, you end up completely avoiding the necessity at all to learn about said things. So you don't expose yourself to the possibility of discovering, and you don't find out how much of a truth thing that actually is. And because you did so, you don't gain anything, but also you don't lose. You don't risk wasting time in things that you might not want to lose. Going back, I guess, at some point what I mentioned, the different social constructs, you might not want to find out about some social constructs, not because they truly are horrible to learn about, but simply because the act of becoming aware of their existence, the whole cognitive hazard notion, the moment in which you become aware of some things, they utterly change the way in which you interact with the rest of the world. Simple enough. Same thing here. You might not really want to become that much aware of some parts of this world. You might not really want to be the one who says, ah yeah, you know what? This world really did have these things that I was following, that I shouldn't have been following. Now what I do with the rest of my existence? What do I do with the way in which I live? How can I continue now that I have seen that what I was doing was utterly damaging, meaningless, useless, harmful, whatever? And yeah, the promise is that it won't happen, but you never know, and in some way, it's actually quite easy to simply... Also, how did I move so much in the map? Where am I? I am so far away. I am amazing. I am amazing, that's what I am. I'm not that far away. It just happens that enemies keep spawning exactly where I want to, and it's making it incredibly hard for me to get what I want. Can I... What should I get this is? The cannon in the end is the carrying weapon. Cannon, save me, cannon. No. Finally, have it. Okay. Run is 1. I will say, I don't really know. I will assume that it is 1. If it isn't 1, if I lose, I'm going to lose it. That's what's going to be lost. Not the run, but my mind. Very difficult days ahead. Anyway, I was saying that, yeah, I don't know. Point being, many things under that nature of, yeah, you don't want to learn, but at the same time, the real point is still, much of this world doesn't really make... It's not that it doesn't make sense. It's that you have to actually put effort from your part to see why it gets stated in that way and why it might actually possess an importance. And the issue was also, yeah, you can call it humbleness. I wouldn't go as far as to say that. I would use many other terms, but I wouldn't call it humbleness. I'm not so sure if that is the term that I want to use when I describe something that any human being can do. It's just acceptance of the fact that, yeah, the thing that I have in front of me might not at all be that much true in its form, so to speak. I just have to say, yeah, you know what? That's the case. Therefore, I have to find what is the actual form of the thing that I see. What is the true essence of that which I am being given by this world? Simple enough. And by doing so, I can finally come to realize why this might be anything good, bad, necessary, unnecessary in my particular existence and whatnot. And once that happens, the rest of life also becomes a little bit easier, I guess. But in the eternal pursuit for answers unavoidably, trying to do something like that is, I guess, difficult. Can I, oh my god. I think I'm not going to win this one. Also, I can probably win if I get the mouse, the bite, the only attack that has life steal basically. on this whole video game. If I get it, and I am capable of using it on the enemies that actually need it, no, more along the lines of if I'm capable of using it in the handful of good situations that needs to be used. No, if I can finally have good damage on it, because not having damage at all on that is killing me. I rely way too much on healing. This part of this game is about healing, no? Something tells me that that's the case. I am pretty sure you cannot just avoid every single part of damage. I would actually be surprised. Okay, yeah. Extension? I would be amazed, absolutely amazed, if you told me that this game had at all no cap on something like dodge. Perhaps, okay, perhaps it has no art cap in itself because the whole map only gives you up to like 90% throughout so many nodes, so widely spread throughout the entire map that you might as well need multiple runs to get all of them. Amazing, I lost. How much did I get? A good portion of the map. Wonderful. And only 30 souls? Oh my god. Oh my god. The best part of the game. Creepingly slow meta progression. Yeah. I am about to lose it. I think I'm going to take a break. That's what I think is going to happen. I think I'm going to take a break, man. Hate this. I love when the game is easy. That's why we are playing this. But no, yeah, give me a second. I will collect my thoughts. Yeah. Be right back. Meanwhile, also, something like I already cannot. Do I need to say it? It should be like understandable enough. Sit, sit down. No. Get up, stretch, whatever. Good luck. See you in 3 minutes or less. You know what? Just to have something on screen, let's start the timer. It's not going to be 80 minutes even, but let's start it anyways. See you. Okay. I didn't say it. I said it. I think I said it actually. Something out. Probably not taking more than 8 minutes. We took only like 3. But anyway, I think we're gonna do like one last run probably, and that's gonna be for today. Oh yeah. Also, yeah, one last run because I want to live without having a bad taste on my mouth, like without feeling humiliated by this fucking video game. Point being, I haven't thinking way too much. Part of life is thinking, you know? Also, one of the things that I realized, I think I should try to save that for the very end. No, I'll try to say it. I should try to save it for the very end. Otherwise, it's kinda bad to not have it. Do not make sure that I have it with me, you know? But no, wait. No, we're good, we're good. Are we good? I'm lying? Hello? What's going on? I alt-tabbed. I did something bad. I alt-tabbed and now the game is lying. Okay. I am getting punished for my actions. Unavoidably. There we go. It was slowed. Somehow I slowed the game. Oh, alt. No? What slowed the game? Whatever. Oh, yeah. I was saying. I wasn't really saying anything, no. But yeah. I love these games that force you to find out things that are absolutely random. It's so funny when that happens, but no, anyways. I think I sort of get how we can win. The issue is actually making it happen. But I don't know. I've been trying to wrap my head around these kind of games for a little bit now, and I don't really know if I like games that rely heavily on just being lucky. I remember I mentioned this concept somewhere else. You have the possibility of winning in the you can be extremely good at video games and win every single run of almost any game. The issue is the plausible ways in which that should actually happen are so slim. The games are almost in a way designed so that only a handful of techniques actually ensure that you win, that it doesn't really feel like it is that much of a fun game. It doesn't really have that sensation of, yeah, you know what, you can win by doing whatever. I guess, particularly this game does have a lot of build variety. As in, you can have like, perhaps 10 particular builds that will let you win no matter what you do, but at the same time, even if you have 10 or let's be generous, you can have 30 different builds that can let you win. Okay, 30. Even if you have 30, 50, that is still so much less than what's the whole in itself degree of possible combinations that exist inside of the game are. You can figure out multiple ways to win almost 100% of the time, but that doesn't mean that the game was actually built to be like that. I don't really enjoy winning out of pure luck. I like it when the game, also wait, this team didn't get any benefit whatsoever. Okay? Anyway, yeah. I don't like it when the games are just about me finding out one or two methods that do win. It's more like the game isn't really a puzzle that you can finally solve however you want. It is a very... The trap is that its appearance makes it look like it has so many combinations, when in reality, the handful that you should be trying are so slim that if you don't get lucky, you don't win, therefore. And what I tried to mention before, the other route of you can just get incredibly good at the game. Games of this sort, I feel like they take, perhaps, being honest, I don't know. At least in my own case, I guess it would take me like 200 hours to become good enough to win no matter what. And before I sink 200 hours on a game to be capable of winning no matter what, is it that crazy for me to say that I would rather do something else? Is it that much of a big revelation or of a huge impactful statement to admit that, yeah, I don't know, I wouldn't actually want to play for 200 hours this, to just be good no matter what? I would rather be bad and enjoy those 200 hours on other content. Particularly, there is the caveat, particularly because also something that is being overlooked in that statement, this game isn't 200 hours worth of gameplay. I don't know, I personally don't find it to be 200 hours worth of gameplay. I guess I have played things. In the end, it's always about the taste that you possess, the way in which you enjoy the game and whatnot. But I don't really feel like this sort of game can lend itself to those 200 hours very easily, so to speak, you know. It could somehow happen that you found yourself getting to 200 hours more like a mindlessly playing, but to actively, single-handedly, by playing this, you reached the 200 hours. I would be amazed if that was the case. I would be actually astonished if a person found themselves in that position of, yeah, you know what, I played this indeed for 200 hours. I got it. I got there. I am the person that you're talking about. I am the case that you're bringing up. What about me? I am pretty sure almost no one like that exists. In reality, in a hypothetical, the beauty of hypotheticals, you can create so many guys, you can make up so many people, but the reality is quite limited. And even more, I remember the first time I streamed this game, I said, sadly, I'm pretty sure this kind of a game doesn't really get that much attention. I don't feel like it is going to be something that, yeah, everyone will play at some point. I'm pretty sure not. I am pretty sure that did not happen. Not, oh wow, I am so happy because I was one of the lucky few who played. No, realistically speaking, sadly it was not the case. Do I need to lie to myself and tell me that, yeah, you know, how many played this, how an entire generation grew up influenced by Skizzle? At least right now, that's not the case. And that will most surely not be the case for a long while, if at all. Not that, okay, not that I am wishing on its downfall, but I don't know, I don't see it becoming something like that. Sadly enough, I don't believe that it will. it will pass down as a legendary game or anything of that sort. Also, I didn't get to the previous point. I kill myself. That one I can accept. Whatever. Whatever, man. Can I get one final upgrade at the very least? Can you give me that pleasure? Yeah. Plus 2 damage on the thunder. Which, in the end, cumulatively speaking, is a lot, but we don't play a cumulative game here. Also, let me deactivate the trap, actually, I hate it. And do I need the cogs? No, it's the cogs either. It's good that it lets you deactivate things by default. I remember when I played the game in its very early stage, it didn't have as many implementations as it does right now. And I'm quite happy with most of them, I can say. At least it's a labor of love game, kind of game, so I can be satisfied with whatever we got right now, but crazy to think about it. Anyways, wait, give me a second, because I didn't even change the image here today. Game rest, there we go. Good evening. It was good while it lasted, but yeah, I am done. Mentally, I have checked out. I didn't end up rage quitting. I can accept that the last loss was my fault, but yeah, that's it for today. No, nothing else to say, to do, to anything. Thank you. Well, we are done. As always, I guess, thank you for everything, for the time, the patience, the interest. I wasn't really expecting that. It was quite an amazing discussion, actually. Yeah, the drugs are good. Consume coffee before every single stream or something like that. No. But yeah, anyways, good night, good day, good evening, good afternoon, whatever. Have a good one, basically. Take a rest, take care, sleep well, sleep tight, I don't know, be responsible, drink, hydrate, be happy, have a goal, a dream, everything. And yeah, see you next time. Question mark. When? Great question. I have no clue yet. Also, no, wait. Before I leave, let me actually fix the subtitles. Here. They should be a little bit shorter, like what, I guess. Okay. Let me talk a little bit more just to see. When they get even bigger, do they actually fit entirely into the screen, or is it going to be an issue that I will have to look on even further later on? Perhaps it is being fixed. Why don't I do it outside of a stream? Because I forgot to set it up so that they capture when I am not streaming, and setting them up to do so is bothersome. So, yeah, you get like, how much? 1 extra 3 minutes of me speaking. Oh wow, so much time, such a wide time, incredible. Okay, it fits almost perfectly, actually, so yeah, I'm happy. Have a good one, actually. Yeah, thank you, good night, and yeah, see you next time, whatever it happens. And even if it doesn't happen, thank you anyways. It was wonderful enough. So yeah, it also doesn't mean that you shouldn't do your things. Be responsible, be good, be such. Good night.